Hey, I'm Alec Van Tynen. I've been with Plevna for about 6 months now. I'm going to be talking about splitting an AGCO Allis 9455 that I did recently. I've been here for about 6 months. Most of that time I've been working underneath at Cody, who's been here for about 3 years now. And Cody's been a big part of helping me with my training and doing what I need to and learning what I need to here at Plevna. My background with a lot of the ag stuff, so I worked on a farm with a guy that I went to church with for about 10 years part-time. I helped him out. Wasn't like I was tearing engine downs or doing stuff like that there, but I did do some like minor repairs and maintenance stuff and oil changes and doing that kind of thing there. I also went to college. I have an applied science degree from Ivy Tech with agriculture geared towards somewhat of a management background, but also towards precision agriculture with like the technology and stuff. Kind of took a hiatus from ag, and I worked at a police department for 3.5 years and decided it was time to be home more and wanted to get back into agriculture, and that's when I ended up finding Plevna and being able to come to Plevna, and it's been a big help. So going into it, probably the most challenging part about splitting the tractor is the fact that I've never done that before. Pretty big undertaking, and probably they say a mountain to climb when they say, hey, this tractor's got to be split. The rear main seal's leaking in it. So that was a pretty big adventure from there. So to be honest, going through it wasn't too bad. I talked to Cody with over a few things, and Cody showed me, that it was probably about 7 lines or so that all I had to do was take off, and then from there a couple electrical connections, and then we started pulling the actual bolts, putting the mounts underneath, and then pulling the actual bolts that hold the tractor together, the two halves together. So the big new things that I learned with doing that job, going through when we split, we ended up putting a new clutch, new throwout bearing. We ended up putting a new pilot bearing in, new seal on the pilot bearing, as well as a new rear main seal as well on there. Basically, I'd never done any of that, so I'd work with Cody, and then we have books and stuff and going through and learning on how to do all that stuff. Going through the clutch, we ended up basically setting up and creating where we could put part of the shaft in and another shaft we slid over to center the clutch and put it in place and to help line splines so that it'll match the rear half when you go to roll it back together. The others weren't too bad. I've replaced bearings on stuff before, so it was just as simple as pulling bearings out and putting the new bearings back in, and then putting the new seals in. But it was a pretty big learning curve with doing the clutch and stuff. Never touched that before. And then understanding and learning exactly how it all needed to go in and to be centered so that when we put the tractor together, you don't destroy anything. So another challenge that came up with working on the tractor, I like working on older tractors, but unfortunately, as they get older, parts start to get discontinued, and that's one thing we ran into. The oil cooler needed new seals as well, and then like with the rear main seal and stuff like that, like the clutch wasn't difficult, but all the seals and everything ended up being that we had to order from all over the country because they're discontinued parts. We ended up having to call other places to get them, and then on top of that as well, we ended up repairing the seat, put new air lines in the seat and running that was a new one for me, so that was kind of cool learning, and then going through and rerouting stuff because I guess the scissor lift in there, or the scissoring action in it was splicing the seat for the farmer, so that was kind of neat too. So Cody's been a big help through all of this, been really super patient with me, so because I know I don't know a lot out here and going through, and I'm always bugging him and asking questions, so to have people like that at Plevna to help you work and get things done and to learn and strive and get better as you go is a really big asset, and I can't thank him enough for all that.